Well, we don't know who we hold kudos this time around now that our Hausa people are waking up from their slumber. Is it Masin Nnamdi Kanu? Is it Peter Obi that has break their cabal? Or is it Tinubu that has scattered all the north? As Hausa people are coming out now that they are not ready to listen to the word from any Fulani man that candidates will not come from north in 2027. Well, brother, what do you have to say about that, Mr.
Yes,
Tinubu?
I think the fear of elimination, extermination, has gotten to the deep or in the Hausa land and the Hausa consciousness, that they are beginning to realize that the Fulani are not actually who they are. And it's unfortunate, that when they were able to divide the Hausa land, some part went to Niger, some part was left in Nigeria, so we still have Hausa part in Niger Republic. We have the other Hausa part in Nigeria. In Nigeria, and the one that we have in Nigeria, allowed certain invasion led by the Fulani nomads to overrun them completely and of course take over everything that belongs to them. It took so many years, without them trying to show sign of frustration or sign they are being suppressed by invaders or people who are not actually indigenous. Now, but just recently, of course, we have seen some of their youths trying to regain or show, that they are trying to understand what is actually going on, how they become victims, how they are being killed on daily basis, how the conquest has, reduced the entire Hausa land and handed over power of conquest and military, whatever it is, economic, social, to people they call the Fulanis. That's the question we are trying to talk about today. If you look at what is going to happen in 2027, precisely, and the fear of having another Fulani man, another Buhari in the circle, that means it will take another 8 years or thereabout, and the Hausa communities, in citizens, in indigenous people are now afraid of what will happen if another Fulani man become the president of Nigeria.
And that has been the fear of South also, that this is the turn of South now. Why are you always hungry? Why are you always hungry for power? Of course, you have been dominating this power for a very long time and there is no result there. So, with this kind of a thing that you are seeing from a Hausa community, are you seeing any synergy between the South politician and Hausa in 2027?
Yes, if you play majorly, like in a place where the Muhammad Buhari came from. I don't want to say whether he's late actually, because we need to understand what actually went around, because we saw this man left Abuja, as claiming that he's going to Niger Republic. You understand? All of a sudden, we are hearing that, though it is that it can happen anyway, but that's not the issue, and we are discussing now. What the problem is that the Hausa people, cannot be able to get that now. They need to start from the scratch. And how they're going to start, sanitization, reorientation should be their watchword currently now. And secondly, if you look at a place, a state like Katsina, 81% or more are Hausas, but they don't control any political position, they don't control any traditional leadership, institution, or whatever. So you can imagine, this is the same thing we saw happening in Katsina, which is predominantly Hausa land. It can be said to be happening in other states of the north. So how is it going to happen? No Hausa governor, no Hausa minister, no Hausa senator, no Hausa House of Rep, no Hausa this, no Hausa, nothing is left for the Hausa man. So how are they going to do that? So a possible alliance with any Southerner as Nigeria is heading towards a breakup. Yes, Nigeria is heading towards that, clearly. So I think, it will be a very difficult thing to achieve unless, there is going to be massive resistance, and they start occupying political positions, gradually. I think to an extent they can bring the Fulani down, but these are people who are claiming that they have made Nigeria their indigenous land, even though we know they are not indigenous people.
For the first time in a recent time, we saw that the number 1, number 2, number 3, even up to number 4, there is no Fulani in that echelon, because Mahmoud Abbas, who is a speaker, is an Hausa man, a Fulani mother, Hausa father. So he's an Hausa man, but he calls himself Hausa Fulani. And unfortunately, these Fulani people don't know how to lure everybody. They know how to influence. Because listen to some of Hausa, the spirit of that dominance is still affecting them. The way they reason, they still sympathize with Fulani. Can we say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu really break the relationship between Fulani and Hausa? Can we say Tinubu show Hausa people that, see, this is where you belong to?
I think that might be the reason why we are trying to see a majority of them are beginning to speak on the social media, are beginning to regain consciousness, are beginning to question the entity called Nigeria, begin to see the reason why we should not be together, begin to align with the intelligence and knowledge and the philosophy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So you can say that to an extent, Tinubu's administration had an impactful consciousness on them, for them to begin to come out and begin to express themselves, because Tinubu to an extent systematically and diplomatically dismantled the hierarchy of the northern Fulanis within the central political power, and that is not what they are talking to not be happy. They are not happy about it. The Fulanis are not happy. And they are afraid of a possible, uprising by the Hausas, that would be a very brutal one, because if they allow that, that means their end has come. And that is why you see most of them are championing, Ruga in 36 states. Most of them are trying to make sure that they have their present all under in the name of one Nigeria in all the 36 states of the Federation. Look at what Christopher Musa is saying now, that they should allow the Fulanis have whatever they call Ruga, whatever the grazing it is, they should allow them in all the 36 states of the Federation. And I beg to understand this very clearly. A private business. And how did government start intervening in private business if there's no ulterior motive?
Somebody like Christopher Musa is one of those people that that make me amazed, that as we are trying to liberate them from the a grip of Fulani oligarchy, but they keep on putting themselves further into it. Another typical example of Christopher Musa is our Vice President Shetima, who is a Kanuri man. And I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu might have made a mistake thinking that a Kanuri man will reason different from Fulani man, that a Kanuri man will not be reason like a Fulani man. But very, very unfortunate, we saw that Shetima is still carrying out the Fulani agenda, still romancing with Buhari, still all his body language, so that he still have this Fulani dominating agenda.
And that is the damage that was done by the Fulani ethnic nationality in some part of the northern part of the country that does not align with predominantly Hausa. Hausa is the most popular language. It's not Fulani. They just look for a way to say it's Hausa Fulani. There was nothing like Hausa Fulani. It was British created. So, and that the problem is that these people does not know how to separate religion from politics. And so for the fact they have captured that religion, they play politics in it. So that is why you continue to spread an extremism of some of their leaders in that regard. So it is something that if you need to do that, of people that are already radicalized, in terms of understanding, in terms of secularity, in terms of morals, in terms of faith and the approach of their political understanding is difficult now. That's why you see that even those who are not predominantly Hausas, have been corrupted into believing, that there's no how this thing can be achieved. They are all enjoying one faith. So the center of the faith, and that's why you can see all over the world now, even in the European, there's a clamor for destruction of anything that has to do with Islamic tendencies. The European Union are championing because they are taking over Europe already, and it is spreading in Africa.
Like a cancer.
Yes, you've got the battle that is going on and these people are not coming with peace. They are coming with death or life. You can understand that, like what we are experiencing here in Nigeria, and the world is not getting conscious over it because they feel that it's happening in the other country. It's not my business. But this is something that has become a virus, a menace that the world needs to stand up, and that is why you see Israel going extra mile to make sure that the Jewish nation stands as a nation that has come to stay. But you can see what they are doing. Just in a space of how many they just left power, and you can see the outcry. You can see what Kwankwaso is saying. You can see what these guys are saying that just left power, that enjoy power for how many years. Then people begin to wonder, why would Bola Ahmed Tinubu be considering, listening to these people at this point in time? Because it is the turn of the South. When Buhari was there, nobody complained. Nobody ever complained over anything. They ran their 8 years, Fulanize everywhere, and northernize everything as they can. And at the end of the day, everything was Buharied. So how would we have been able to achieve that? Then you're saying just 2 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, even though it is a pure catastrophe. Yes, we should allow it be. It's not the dawn of the North, and that is why with the fear of a possible alliance with the South targeting the eastern part of the country, who have already been enveloped by the Biafran vision.
Before we go, let's quickly go to North Central, because Zamfara is in Northwest, and the North Central is another peculiar region where the hand of Fulani, not only, holding them down, but tormenting them, killing them on a daily basis. How do you think they will react to this kind of a development that is happening in Zamfara?
I think that was the struggle to break the monopoly of the North on the Middle Belt. Very important, because if we're able to break that, that would have been very, very okay. And the only thing I keep on saying it, continuing in this kind of atmosphere as a unity, continuing in this kind of atmosphere as a Nigerian, will bring all of us down to the knees of these people who are having foreign support from Iran and all that. Yes, and how the Middle Belt is going to pull out completely from this if there is no independent and sovereign nation that can stand as a resistance of rescue to the Middle Belt. That is the only thing. Apart from the secular political game they are going to be playing, appointment and all that, like those Bola Ahmed Tinubu had just appointed somebody from Plateau now, Tiwada as the national chairman of APC and all that other kind of game, But you can see that they still have their structures in the southern part of the country. Most of those governors you are seeing, including the one from Edo State, is already been planted by this extreme political jihadist conquest agenda. So when you see this governor, you think that people voted for, nobody voted for them, and they are using the resources that come from that Biafran land to put them in a political position so that they can use them to be controlled and to achieve what they want to achieve, which is purely Islamization agenda. There's no two ways about it.
Well, thank you very much. Please, our viewer, if you are watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you are watching for first time, remain blessed. Thank you very much.